You have to be real quiet, okay?
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us today on the Engage Educator Show. I have one of my sorority sisters, educational mentors, my D-Tech sister with me today, Miss Amissa Green, who is a English language learner educator and works mostly with kindergarten, first grade, fourth grade, and fifth. Right?
Yes.
So, how are you? How are you this morning? How are you doing? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Good morning, and thank you for having me, Isis. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being on the show.
No worries. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, before we actually get into the show, I just got an alert to my phone that the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program is still going to remain intact. And it said that 80,000 young people will avoid deportation. How do
Yeah.
you feel about that?
Words can't express. Words cannot express. I am so excited that program gets to stay
Mhm.
because that gives comfort to a lot of our students that may or may not be legal in this country. They're still able to receive an education, which they are entitled to, which they are granted that right.
Right.
However, there's still some areas in that need to be tweaked and fixed.
Mhm.
If they apply for a student loan to go to college, they still should be able to receive that. I believe there's still some stipulations there that prevents that.
Mhm.
But as far as it being left in place, I'm thoroughly excited that it is left in
Right. Right. So amazing. Just so amazing. When I got it,
place.
my mind went back to when I taught my English language learner students and families, and how one of my little boys would miss school at least 2 or 3 times a week,
Yes,
going to court and dealing
yes,
with paperwork and different things like that. So I'm excited. I'm excited that
yes.
this happened for the students, because a lot of
I am
times we
too.
don't think about, we think about the adults going through it, but we don't think about
Mhm.
the trauma, that it imposes
Yes,
on the students. So I'm
yes.
excited that it happened, excited that you're here. And we are going to jump into our song association game.
Oh, now if I break everybody's computer screen with my singing, don't laugh.
Listen, that'll be the least of their worries, because they've ignored my singing. Okay, so they'll be able to make it. All right. So the way that the game is played, if you're watching with us for the first time, I'm going to give Amisa 10 words. She's going to have 10 seconds to sing or rap song that at least 5 people know, right? So nothing homemade, nothing that you cooked up in the kitchen
Okay.
right before the show. Okay, you ready?
All right. I'm ready. I'm ready.
And I'm excited because I'm using StreamYard now, y'all. So I don't have to spell the word out. I'm gonna get fancy today. I'm gonna flash the word on the screen. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. This is your first word. Love.
Love, love, I love you.
What song is that, Amisa?
I was trying to sing that one. Oh, hey, I got it. I do love you. I
There
love
we go.
you.
Okay. Okay. I do know that.
Ooh, I couldn't think of it. It was in my head, but I couldn't get it out.
You got it. All right. Sun.
Sunny days sweeping up clouds away.
I think I'm gonna kind of give that to you, even though the word is sunny.
Right. That's all I had. That's all
I'll still give it to you. I'll still give it to you. My.
My girl, my girl, my girl, talking about my girl, my girl.
Oh, there you go. Uh-oh. Kiss.
Oh my goodness, the Prince song. Kiss. Do 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 do. Oh gosh, I cannot remember the words, but it's kiss. I just know it's by Prince.
I was still
That was one of my favorite songs of his, so there you go.
okay. Red.
Red. Oh gosh, my good. What is this song? Oh gosh. Uh,
5, 6.
red, yellow, blue. Red, yellow, blue. I love you. That was a kid song that I sang with my
You
kids.
already sang that song though.
Red, yellow, blue. Oh my goodness. Red, something furry. Oh gosh, that's another Prince song, but I can't remember the words to that one either. Burr, I get it.
Sing Little Red Corvette.
That's it.
But you didn't.
I know. I was combining that with Raspberry Parade. Beret. Purple rain.
Yep, I knew you would get that one. All right, what about this? Baby.
Baby.
Oh, I didn't know you go that way. Okay.
I got something love for you. TLC days.
Is it for you?
Baby. Ooh.
Because if you're gonna give me, yeah, okay. Purple.
I'll have to do that one again. Purple. I can't.
Nope.
Okay. Purple. No, that's peanut butter and jelly. That wouldn't be purple there. I have to pass on that one. I don't know another purple song but that one.
Like jelly is purple, so maybe.
No. Yeah, I got to pass on that one. I can't think of another purple song with purple in it.
It's okay. Cry
me a river. Justin Timberlake. Cry me a river.
There you go. Let's say that wasn't a tempo, but you
cry me a river.
All right, that's your last word.
Okay.
Like.
I like you. No, that's love. Like.
5 seconds.
I like. Oh gosh, I can't. I'm done.
All right, so your score was 6 to beat. You had to beat 6. Do you think you did it?
I hope so.
All right, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, you have kicked Ernest Krim out of first place. He's been in first place for 5 weeks.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I'm going on to my title.
Oh, I had to tell him that he got knocked out. All right. So we're nice and warm. We're nice and loose.
Nice and loose. Yes.
We're gonna start a show. Okay. We're gonna start a show now. All right. So I'm starting with a Mythbuster.
Okay.
So there is this myth that low-income parents in particular are not engaged when it comes to learning. Okay. So there is data that shows that I want to say over 1,300 low-income parents were surveyed. And out of the 1,300, 87% of the parents said that they regularly review their children's test scores and grades. 87% out of 1,300.
Mm-hmm.
So speak to that data and speak to that myth that low-income parents are not engaged.
Well, as you said, it is definitely a myth. It's in a way, it's almost twofold. For the parents that I work with, if they don't review a lot of the data or a lot of information that comes home, a lot of it is because they can't read it. If it's in Spanish, if it's in English and it's not translated into Spanish, many of them won't even attempt to try to read it because they can't. And even if it is interpreted into Spanish, they may not necessarily understand or process what they're reading. As far as a lot of our other parents of color, African American parents, Muslim parents, Caucasian parents of low socioeconomic, a lot of it could be that they may look at it, they may see a report card, but they may not necessarily understand what is going on.
Right.
So is it a myth? Yes, but it's a myth because of that. It's not that they're not engaged. It's not that they don't care. Someone in that child's life someone in that child's life is it has to help them understand what is going on, in order for them to be able to know or how to help their child. So it's not that, again, it's not that they're not engaged. It's more or less that they just don't understand.
And as educators, so when we're talking about parents that don't understand, as educators, how can we effectively engage with them so that we can help them to understand? Specifically, generally as educators, but then also what are some things that you do working with families where English may be their second language?
Okay. I'll give an example of an NS team that I was in. And the county that I work in, we use a program with a lot of our English language learners called Imagine Learning. And it gives us a rundown of data. It allows us and the parent and or other staff members to hear how the child sounds when they're reading, all of that. In this particular meeting, I brought some additional data to show the mom. And the mom was happy to see the lines, that he was making progress. She could understand, the lines going this way and furthering down meant that her son was making progress. But she wanted it in Spanish so that she could read it herself. So one of the things that I try to do with a lot of the parents that I work with when I bring information like that to them is I try to make sure that it is interpreted in Spanish for them. Now, some programs like Imagine Learning, you would have to get that directly from that particular company. But a lot of the homework packets or anything like that that we send home to students that are non-English speakers, they are translated. We have a translator at our school who will translate, and she will literally, if you send her a homework piece, she will try to find graphics and everything for it and make it all cute and pretty, and have it in Spanish where the child can take it home and do it with that parent. So that way the parent and the child can sit down and do it together.
Right.
Help to engage them and engage the parent in what the child is actually doing.
Awesome. So if there are educators watching or listening, and maybe they don't have that full-time translator at their school, what can they do to still engage with that family?
Well, another thing that you can do, and another thing, this is what the county that I work in, even if we don't have our interpreter is there mostly part-time. So she's there from the morning until maybe the first start of the afternoon. But the county has an on-site interpreter that travels to meetings. So all you have to do is give her a date and she can come with that mother to meetings. When we had parent teacher conferences, we had interpreters on site. If the parent needed an interpreter, say they didn't bring if the mother spoke Spanish but the father spoke some English and Spanish, and they could understand what was going on, they could interpret for the mother. They didn't need one, but if they needed an interpreter there, we had interpreters on site to translate for the teacher and for the parent, so that questions could be asked and that suggestions could be given as to how to help at home, what to look for, and things like that. So I say all that to say, if you are in a county that has interpreters that are hired by your county, anytime you have a program, have them on site to translate for those families. That could be a parent-teacher conference. That could be a after-school event where parents will come. Anything where the parent will be there, you definitely want to have interpreters there to translate for them.
Right. So really using the resources that the county has already built in.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
All right. So as we move into our student engagement piece, right? So I have started back reading the highly engaged classroom. Right? And there's so many jewels, so much in this book that I completely forgot that was in there, because when you're in the classroom and you're teaching, it's just like some of the things become second nature. And you forget all of the knowledge, the good stuff, right, that you read or that you just knew. When we talk about student engagement, how can we use the students' personal experiences to increase the way that they engage?
Can you hear me, Isis? Because you froze. No, you froze just a little bit.
Uh-oh.
But I see you now. You're good. Say that one more time.
So how can we use the students' personal experiences to increase their engagement in our classroom?
Honestly, with English language learners, how you'll start out with them, they will not talk. A lot of it is they don't know the language. They have to trust you. They have to feel comfortable with you. I had a child this year that was what happened with him.
Right.
He had to, I mean, he would not go to class. He wanted to stay with myself and my teammates all day.
Yeah.
And having to get him to trust his teacher and us was the first step.
Mm-hmm.
So once he trusted his teacher, he saw his classmates, that also spoke Spanish. That helped him to go to class.
Mm-hmm.
Another way is just very simple, very, very simple things that you could do. I had another fifth grader. Anytime I showed it's a minute object. I remember we were talking about inventions, and I took out a bottle, an empty Coke bottle, and he just started talking about I mean, in Spanish. It was in Spanish, but I had another child in there that could speak for him. But he just started talking about a time he took a soda, a Mellow Yellow, shook it up, dropped a Meltos in it, and it exploded.
Wow.
From an empty bottle. And anytime I would show a picture of anything, that would start him talking about, things that he had experienced, and we were able to tie that in to the lesson, and it helped him to pick up some of those vocabulary words and connections from the story that I was trying to get them to grasp. So primarily, if you just use very simple things with non-speakers, then that will help them, that will remind them of something that they've done, especially if it's something pleasant that they've done. For those that have been here for a little while, you can do that, but a lot of them can actually share in different things. When we had snow, it snowed up here, and the two boys that were learning English, that was fascinating for them. But the one that had been here a while, he was fine with it. All he wanted to do was eat it.
Right.
He had experienced snow before. They had not. So that, again, if they're non-speakers, it could just be a picture of something that they may have done. If it's someone that's been here for a while, they can tell you about some of their experiences from, their past and things like that.
Right. Yes, that's amazing. And sometimes we don't even think like what we're doing or what we're saying. Like, we never know when they're going to tap in.
Exactly.
A lot of those moments where I was like, okay, this is going to be the thing that they're going to respond to, and it was
exactly
the complete opposite, something so random. And I even go through that now with my 1-year-old. Like, I try so many things to get him to stop crying, and I take the pot out, and he's just like so intrigued. Like, had I known this 30 minutes ago, I would have pulled this pot out.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's definitely the same thing, with our students. Just them really having to have a connection to what we're talking about and what we're doing. So that story is amazing. That story is definitely amazing. So when we think about the current climate that we're in right now, of course, with everything that has happened with George Floyd, the other articles that are popping up just about just injustices, right? And especially when we look at the African American community, the Black race in general, and just the things that are taking place outside of the school, but not neglecting the fact that our children see this, right? Same children that we are teaching virtually, or whether, we'll go back into the building in August or September. What can we do to make sure that we don't neglect what they're experiencing right now? Like, what can we do as educators to make sure that we don't teach past reality, if that makes sense?
And that was something that I have asked in various Oh goodness, I'm trying to get this computer to cooperate with me.
Oh no, you're fine.
But I've asked that in several circles. Just in the sense that we will definitely have to or we will have to start the year off with some intense social emotional learning activities, lessons, and exercises. I rode during COVID, which was everything that went on before all of this with George Floyd and everything else. I rode the bus sometimes for my county, and I did that during COVID to deliver meals to the student. And I did that because I wanted to see the kids. Because for me, I was even having a rough time, just abruptly being away from them, wondering if they were okay, if they were safe, and I just needed to put these two eyes.
Right.
I'm sorry, these four eyes. I needed to put them on them so I could feel some sense of comfort, especially when some of the homes that they were coming from even before COVID. So I did that so I could see them. But we talked with some of the other teachers that I rode the bus with that we're definitely going to have to do some intense social, emotional lessons with that, because in addition to, when you talk to some of them, you hear the parents say they're sad, they're missing school, they're upset, they're worried about this, that, and the other, and they already had high anxiety anyway. So then you compound everything that's happened with George Floyd, the racial tension, the riots, the everything that's going on right now, compounding on top of a child that's already emotionally distressed from COVID, and you'll have what I call a volcano. So we will have to, as educators, as guidance counselors, as principals, as EAs, as cafeteria staff, everybody, we're going to have some intense conversations with social emotional learning. And I'll just tell you, the school that I work at, asking them to stand 6 feet and not touch each other, oh, that's a wrap. Come up and they're gonna lay on you and they're gonna sit on your lap, and that's gonna be a wrap for them.
Yes,
we'll have to do that. But that again is something that in my opinion, this is just my opinion, that should happen, is that some definite lessons to start the year off. You're getting to know you still need to do your building community, you still need to do, but you definitely have to have that social emotional in there in order to make sure that you can build that sense, and that you can compound them and make sure that they are okay with what happened and what's been going on for these last 3 to 4 months.
Right. And there has been a lot of talk in the education space, like, look, we already do surveys and everything else in the first 4 weeks.
Yes.
And there's just a lot of conversation that needs to be extended to 8 weeks. Like, we need to spend 8 weeks getting to know our students, our families, putting a lot of different procedures in place so that we're not jumping right into learning. Because they've already been, well, I know for us in South Carolina, we've been out of school since March 13th.
Same here.
Going back, in August or September, there's a lot of learning that's going to be lost for a lot of students that are going back into the classroom. So we really are going to maybe even have to take 12 weeks, really to assess that social emotional piece, but then also go back and assess that academic piece. Because a lot of them learning stopped. Like when school closed,
that was it.
That was a wrap, right? That was it for them. So we really have to take a step back and assess, okay, what's going to be the best thing for each and every kid that's in the building. And God bless us. Parents, educators that are going back into the school with these CDC regulations. I'll just be amazed at how this works, especially in the kindergarten classroom.
Yes.
All
that's my opinion, and chances are, I know some of our kids, I know myself, it's been hard to see them and just wave, especially if you hadn't seen them in a couple of months. I know I went up there one day to help get their supplies back, and I saw one of my babies that I worked with that was in my ELL class, and all I could do was wave to him from the car, and I just had him look at me over his glasses.
Yeah.
Back, but I could tell he wanted to get out.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get out. You got to stay, babe. You got to stay. Just wave. So.
Oh gosh, yeah, those hugs. Let me tell you, I miss those kindergarten hugs. Those are hugs like no other.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh gosh, I miss those. I miss those. All right, so as we wrap up, first, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for your insight, your knowledge, your passion, your effective engagement.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
No worries at all. So as we wrap up, I want you to, so I've started to end our segments and our show with a Dear Black Child moment. So this is your time to finish that phrase with encouragement, with motivation for the Black students that are in this country dealing with all the emotions, all of the feelings, all of the things that they're dealing with at this time. What is your Dear Black Child, I would say, sentiment? What can you give to them?
Of course, if I could remember it all the way, I would say the poem, the add that in, Hey Black Child. So it's, hey dear Black Child, do you know who you are? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know that you are worthy? Do you know that you are confident? Do you know that you are deserving and beautiful and engaging and enlightening? Do you know where you're going? Do you know that you can go to the playground? You can go to the White House. You can go to your neighbors and not be afraid and not be hunted. Know that you have teachers, that you have family, that you have friends that are always there for you, that love you and want you to have the glorious life that you are to have and that you are to express. So again, if I could remember all the words to that poem, which is one of my favorites by County Cullen, Hey Black Child, I would add that in as well.
Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I'll make sure that I replay I'll replay this myself, and those that haven't been able to join us live, when they see it, it is my hope that not only do they hear it, but they share it, with the Black children that are in their life. Thank you so much again for joining me today. It was so good to see your face. I feel like it's been 5-6 years.
It's been too doggone long, but I come to see you again in a little while. So
yes, we will. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, I will. Oh, you're right. I will see you again.
Yes, and I'm going to see you again in another space next year. We're gonna do that long too.
Listen, don't start, okay? You got people watching us.
I got you. It's good to see you, Isis.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's so good to see you, and I will catch you next time. And have an awesome day.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. All right, guys. So this has been another episode of Engage Educator. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you joined the replay, comment. Let me know how you liked it, if you gained any new information about how you can better engage with your students, with your families. That's what it's all about. Effective engagement, so that we can make sure that academic success takes place for all children, regardless of where they live, how much money their parents make. It's really just about making sure that we come together and we really put effective engagement practices in place so that children can be successful. I will have a link in the comment if you would like to join the show, if you would like to come on and chop it up with me and really just share your best engagement practices. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you all next week. Have an awesome day. If I can click in. Have a great day, guys.